The cafeteria was buzzing with laughter, clattering trays, and the casual chaos of another ordinary school day. But in one corner, time seemed to shift. 3 boys stood over a girl, their shadows falling across her tray. Their laughter was loud, mocking, cruel. The new girl, barely 2 weeks into her transfer, sat frozen, clutching her food like it was the only shield she had. Then, in an instant, the air changed. Seconds later, the boys weren't laughing anymore. Before we dive deeper into this emotional and powerful story, I want to pause for a moment. If you believe in kindness, in giving people second chances, and in standing up for what is right, then please like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs inspiration today, and subscribe to our channel, Fearless Grace. Your support helps us spread these meaningful stories further. Her name was Amira, a quiet 16-year-old with long dark hair usually tied in a loose braid, her large brown eyes holding a softness that made her stand out in the crowd. She had transferred from a small coastal town to this large city high school, where everything felt louder, harsher, and more intimidating. For the first few days, she tried to blend in, avoiding attention, sitting alone at the corner of the cafeteria, and slipping silently between classes. But as every new kid soon learns, invisibility doesn't last forever. The 3 boys, Rylan, Chase, and Brent, had built their reputations on cruelty. They weren't just bullies, they enjoyed turning their power into a spectacle. Rylan, the ringleader with sharp features and a smirk that never left his face, had a way of making everyone around him laugh at someone else's expense. Chase, broader and louder, loved playing the part of the enforcer. Brent was the quiet one, but he followed their lead, throwing in mocking comments like stones that always hit their mark. It began innocently enough that day, or at least as innocently as cruelty can appear. Amira sat quietly, unpacking her lunch, an old metal container filled with the food her mother lovingly prepared that morning. Homemade rice with fragrant spices and vegetables. The smell drifted softly in the cafeteria, unfamiliar to many students. That was all it took. "Whoa, what's that smell?" Chase's voice carried across the room, loud and mocking. Heads turned. Rylan grinned, tapping Brent's shoulder, and the 3 made their way over like predators circling their prey. They towered over Amira's table, sneering. "That's not food. That looks like someone's science experiment," Rylan laughed, leaning down close enough that Amira could feel his breath. Brent added, "Do people even eat that where you're from? Looks like trash." The cafeteria erupted in scattered laughter, not everyone joining in, but enough to make Amira's cheeks burn crimson. She tried to stay calm, lowering her gaze, pushing the food closer to herself, but her trembling hands betrayed her. Chase reached forward suddenly, jabbing his finger into her food, smearing it across her tray. "Oops," he mocked, "guess it's ruined now." "You're welcome." The laughter grew louder, crueler. Amira's heart pounded, her chest tightening. For weeks, she had swallowed her loneliness, telling herself to endure until things got better. But this humiliation in front of everyone, was shattering. She wanted to disappear. But then something shifted. Amira stood up. Slowly, quietly, she pushed her chair back, her eyes no longer avoiding theirs. For the first time, she looked at them directly. Her gaze was steady, unflinching. There was no anger, no visible fear, just a quiet strength. The boys faltered, their laughter thinning as her presence grew heavier. The cafeteria, sensing something unusual, grew quieter too. Rylan sneered, trying to regain control. "What? You gonna cry now?" But Amira didn't cry. She reached down to her sleeve and rolled it up. The cafeteria gasped. Her forearm revealed a long, faded scar running from her wrist almost to her elbow. It wasn't fresh, but it carried a story. "You think you can break me with your words? With your jokes?" Amira's voice was soft but unwavering, carrying across the cafeteria with a power that didn't need to be shouted. "I've been through worse than anything you can throw at me. Do you think I care about your laughter? Do you think I care about your insults? I've survived things you'll never understand." Her words hung in the air like thunder. The cafeteria was silent now, all eyes on her. Even the 3 boys stood frozen, their bravado slipping. Rylan opened his mouth to retort, but no words came. For the first time, he looked unsure. Amira continued, her voice trembling only with the weight of truth. "That scar, it's from the fire that destroyed my home last year. I lost everything that day, my room, my memories, even the sense of safety a child should have. I thought I wouldn't survive. But I did. I fought through smoke, through fear, through pain that none of you can imagine. And you think a joke about my food will hurt me? Her eyes moved slowly across the room, meeting the stares of every student, every teacher who had heard the commotion. I'm still standing. Stronger than you think. So go ahead, laugh if you want. But know this, you'll never have the strength to survive what I've already lived through. The silence was deafening. Chase shifted uncomfortably, his mocking grin replaced with something uncertain. Brent lowered his gaze, guilt creeping into his expression. Rylan, for all his arrogance, had no comeback. The cafeteria had turned on them, not with laughter, but with eyes full of judgment, disappointment, and even anger. For the first time, they were the ones under the spotlight, and it wasn't fun anymore. Amira picked up her lunch container, her movements calm and deliberate, and walked out of the cafeteria. Her back was straight, her step steady. She didn't run, didn't hide. She carried herself with dignity that no one could touch. That day changed everything. Word of what happened spread quickly. The cafeteria incident wasn't just another bullying story, it was a turning point. Students who had laughed along now felt the weight of their silence. Some approached Amira in the following days, apologizing, offering kindness in small gestures, a smile in the hallway, an invitation to sit together at lunch, even simple words of encouragement. The tide was shifting, and Amira's quiet courage had set it in motion. Even the three boys couldn't escape the change. Teachers intervened after hearing the full story, and the principal addressed the importance of respect and empathy in a school-wide assembly. Rylan, Chase, and Brent were disciplined, but something deeper shifted in them too. They weren't suddenly saints, but the image of Amira standing unbroken in front of them lingered in their minds. They avoided her for weeks, no longer laughing, their swagger dimmed. For Amira, it wasn't about revenge or victory. It was about reclaiming her power. She had feared that her scars would always mark her as broken, but now, they marked her as unbreakable. Slowly, she began to find friends, other students who admired her resilience, who wanted to know her story beyond the scar. She joined the art club, pouring her emotions into sketches and paintings that reflected her journey. For the first time in months, she felt like she belonged. Looking back, the cafeteria moment became more than just a painful memory. It became a lesson for everyone who witnessed it, a reminder that behind every quiet face, every scar, every story, there is a depth we cannot see. It reminded them all that cruelty has no real power when faced with courage. And for Amira, it was the day she realized her past didn't make her weaker. It made her unstoppable. If this story touched your heart, if you believe that true strength comes from surviving the storms life throws at us, then please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Fearless Grace so we can continue to spread these powerful stories of resilience and hope. And here's a special request, drop a comment below sharing one thing you've overcome that made you stronger. Your story might just inspire someone else today.